Hey there, everyone. Okay, I'm starting my vlogs up again, and I really wanted to I wanted to kick it off with the stress epidemic. And is it real? The epidemic is, but is stress real? I want to read some statistics to you just to get it started, okay? Now, these are 2018, 2019. And first of all, Australia. You guys are suffering 91% with feeling stressed. 91%. That's high. That's very high. UK, 74%. US, here we go. 75% adults, moderate to severe stress. 1 out of 75 of us, we suffer from panic attacks. Top concern for US teens is stress, okay? US teens. That is from the 9th grade to the 12th grade. So we're talking about high school stress. Stress is everywhere. And does it need to be? Does it need to be? No. Stress actually puts us into the fight or flight. I know you know that. Well, maybe you don't. It puts us into the fight or flight mode. What is the fight or flight mode? Well, we used to use the fight or flight mode for when a bear was chasing us, or when somebody is chasing us, or when we are, or there's a fire, okay? Then we're in, do we run or do we fight? And what it does is, the mind says, oh my gosh, there's a bear. So then our adrenal gland kicks in, releases the hormones into all of our cells, and all those things cause the body to react in some way. Number one, the blood goes from the center of the body to being concentrated in the limbs. Why? Because you're going to be running, you're going to be fighting, you're going to be doing something. All right, so it actually shuts down some of the organs. You start producing a lot of white blood cells because, again, you're fighting something. You've got to have your white blood cells in order. And then of course your mind is shut off just at that problem. Okay? We live as a society, as a world, in fight or flight. Things are always due. We're busy with the kids. We've got a schedule to keep. We're all running all over the place. We all have these problems we think are insurmountable, whether it's money, whether it's love, whether it's getting through the day. Sometimes the problems are not even real and we're making them up. And you don't believe that, but I have seen it. And we feel like we're doing something. We feel like we're doing something when we worry because we're thinking about it. You know, we're thinking about it and we're solving it. But do we really solve it, or do we just mull it over and over and over in our mind, causing our heart to rate faster and our adrenal glands to secrete everything and getting into that fight or flight? The other thing it does in this fight or flight, it actually lowers your immune system, because that's one of the systems that gets shut down, because you can't be worried about that when you're running or when you're fighting, you know? And so you get sick more often. Stress is not good. Long-term things of stress, long-term things. Okay, the health concerns. My gosh, first of all, there's adrenal fatigue. I've seen people who actually, the adrenal gland gets so exhausted from this fight or flight, this worry, this constant mulling things over in our mind, that it starts to misfire and release those chemicals or those hormones into the body at odd times, causing the heart to race. People wake up with their hearts racing at 134, 132. Come on. It's like, my God, that's a terrible way to wake up. And yet they can't let go because it's misfiring. They have no control anymore. It's not controlled by their thoughts. It's just going. You know? I know people who produce so many white blood cells, so many freaking white blood cells, that they actually are producing them without the needed chromosome. And without that chromosome, it actually qualifies you for leukemia. borderline leukemia. All of a sudden you're starting to get a leukemia, which is a cancer, because you're producing so many that your body can't control and put the right things in, the cells, the white blood cells. And at the very least, you are just getting sick all the time, or you feel sick. Stress is not a good thing, and yet we feel like it's a normal part of our life. And we want people to come in and help us manage our stress. All right? But really, it's up to you to start looking at your life, you know? And it's up to you to learn how to control the mind. I always say, start with just taking some Zen moments. And you say, Elena, how do I do that? I'm working 2 jobs. Or Elena, I'm working a very high pressured career. Or Elena, I've got kids, I work, I've got this, I've got a husband, yeah, I know, I hear all this. I hear it. You still need a Zen moment. I don't care if it's in your car as you're driving. I don't care if it's when you just tell everybody, I'm going out into the backyard and I'm going to sit for a moment. I don't care if it is whatever. You know, at lunchtime, you go out and you put your earphones on and sit under a tree somewhere. I don't care when, but you need those Zen moments. Now, let's talk about those Zen moments. Actually, I'm going to back up. I'm going to talk about the Zen moments in a minute. Let's talk about when you're in the traffic. Let's talk about these useless times that we get into our fight or flight mode, or we start to get all anxious and up into the air and agitated, which is fight or flight also, okay? Releases the same hormones. Because you're agitated, you're gonna fight, right? So, all right, so you're in the car. You got the guy who is not going with the green light. And you are sitting there and you know it's gonna turn red and you're mad. So you start honking your horn, you start cursing up to wazoo. But you know what, you don't let it go. You talk about it at work, you talk about it here. These people don't go when the light turns green. Do you see what I mean? You don't let it go. All right, when that happens, try something different. Try just breathing. I know, you're thinking, really? Yes, breathing. And I remember when I used to be on stage, well, I still am on stage. I just do different things on stage now. But I used to be on stage with singing. Now I'm on stage helping others to tap in. And when I still sing a little bit, but breathing right behind stage, and I'll tell you, that's stressful. You're going out on that stage in front of all those people, and I used to sing very high notes, and oh my gosh, if the support's off, you crack. And then who knows, you know, then you're just ruined. They make mincemeat out of you when you sing. Oh wow, that bird just flew right by my head. But anyway, so what I used to do is I'd learn how to breathe. And what I do is I breathe, I calm myself first. I just say calm, relax. Actually, I have a little trigger I've taught myself. I say, be still my heart. And when I hear that, I've trained my body to just go into a total relaxed mode. That takes a little time, but it's really worth it. And then I breathe in, and I breathe first to fill my abdomen way down low. And then when I breathe in, I fill the back. And I'm playing with the breath. Why? Because I'm occupying my mind. But then when I feel like I am relaxed, then I watch for this little space between breathing in, breathing out. And between that time, not holding the breath, all of a sudden, you will have this fabulous space where you feel totally centered and totally calm and totally with a greater understanding. It's a wonderful way to get centered. It's a wonderful way to feel calm. And then all of a sudden, that man or woman who is yet not going when it's green, you can just breathe and you'll just tap on the horn to say, hey, are you awake? I'm not saying don't do anything, but you won't get yourself so agitated and crazy. In fact, you might think, is he okay? Or is she okay? You know, you'll start getting a greater understanding. It'll calm you down. So that breath thing can work at work, it can work in the car when the kids are arguing, it can work at the red light situation, it can help at any time. Just take the time to breathe. These birds keep flying really close to my head. I guess I must be too still. But I've got all these birds. I've got pigeons and I've got sparrows all around me. I'm in Central Park, New York. And I just find that so interesting. All right, so now I also want to give you another way, because that's a great way. And if you're feeling good about that, then let's go back to this Zen space. All right? The Zen space can be anywhere. Anywhere. Like I said, it can be the tree behind your workplace. It can be in your car with music. I love doing that. I love turning on the music I want to hear and just letting my mind go with it and enjoy that drive. I love that. And I can even suffer in traffic with that. But there's one thing I want you to try when you're in your Zen space, okay? And this is a mini try. So when you're there, say, take 5 minutes, 5. Start with 3 if you have to, okay? If you're one who really mulls over a lot, okay. But 3 to 5 minutes, and you say, no worry, doubt, or fear shall enter here, and push it out. And see yourself putting it on this imaginary shelf, all right? And it's just gonna stay there for 5 minutes. And then you're going to allow yourself to listen to the music, or to listen to the birds, or to talk to the little sparrow. Oh, it's a pigeon. Talk to the pigeon that's sitting beside you, or me. To just see life. Or maybe you want to call up on your phone Troward, who is someone who talks about the spirit of opulence, or Neville Goddard, who has all the power within, or even Elena Chapman, who has these vlogs that help give you ways to train the mind so you can start to tap in. And also tap in. I also talk about that because it's important to start tapping in. And you start to fill that void, because see, if you take away that worry, doubt, and fear, which you are so used to having, you create a void. And to just sit there and do nothing will drive you insane. Something has to fill that void. The universe hates a void. So you fill it with these videos, or these things that you read, or just listening to the birds, or just feeling peace, or just talking to source or something higher than yourself. Okay? Start to build that. And I'll tell you what, not only will you find that everything will just calm down, but you're going to get back to what it's supposed to feel like. That calmness. That I will get it done, and I get it all done, but I don't have to do it in a rush. I don't have to do it with fight or flight. It will all happen when it happens. And it's getting you back to where your body is supposed to be operating. And another benefit of this, when you start training your mind, or your critical mind, let's say that, and you can put it up on that shelf for longer and longer and longer time, then all of a sudden you will start hearing that inner divine, that essence, your soul. You will start hearing that voice. Because when the critical mind is so strong and saying, I gotta do this. Oh my gosh, this is such a problem. And oh my gosh, how am I gonna get time to do that? And I've got this report due. And oh my gosh, listen to how that just gives me a headache doing it. It's so loud that you can't hear that essence, that soul that says, you know what? I've got an idea for that project you've been looking for. Or, you know, maybe today with the kids in the car, how about if we start a game? Why don't I do something with them? Or how about if I say, you know, give them a goal to go for. If they're good in the car, we can stop for ice cream or something. You know what I mean? It's when you start to think with that essence that the solutions come. And they always come out of love, and they always come out of creativity, and they always come with just flow. And you don't have to mull every 2 minutes. And yes, we do have problems, but I'll tell you what, you use the critical mind all the time and the fight or flight, and that line of telling or not telling, but asking the universe for what you need or what you want. Like, I need money. Why aren't I getting money? I got to make money. How am I going to make money? How am I going to do this? Now, you put in chinks. You put in, instead of a direct line to source, you are putting in a bunch of rocks in the way, worry, doubt, and fear. And it ruins your connection to source. Because source, it comes through the soul. Source comes through the spirit that enters inside you. It's not in the critical mind. It's not in the worry, doubt, and fear. That puts a cap on it, where that's all you can think about. And it narrows your vision so narrow that you can't hear anything else, you can't think of anything else, you can't open your mind to other possibilities. So do me a favor in this week. There are other ways to also open up and to calm yourself down. But those were 2 good ways, that breathing and finding that Zen space and putting the worry, doubt, and fear up on a shelf so that you can get a basis of what your body's supposed to be like. Try that. And then if you like this vlog, let me know. Share it out there, because there's a lot of people who need this and want this. You know, people are sick of always being in the worry, doubt, and fear. They really are. It doesn't feel good. Sleepless nights, terrible days, lots of health problems. So share it out there. And subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe, because I'm going to be doing these once a week now. And I'm very excited. And I'm also the founder of Soul Manifesto. So join soulmanifesto.com and get some information about the incredible workshops that I'm putting together for everyone. We've got one coming up November 2nd with Elizabeth Gilbert of Eat, Pray, Love and City of Girls, her newest book, which I just got that book. I can't wait to read it. So, you know, there's cool stuff happening, and everything I do is to help you tap in and to really start living from your essence, that beautiful soul, and connecting to the spirit inside too, the spirit of source. All right, so I love you. Subscribe and get these in, I don't know, when you subscribe, you get notifications, which I love that, you know, on your YouTube. So yeah, I'd love to have you, and at least get it out there to people. But most of all, practice these 2 things. Let's get you into a place where you are starting to live happier, with more abundance, joy, prosperity, and love. Namaste. I love you all. And if you want to learn more, go to soulmanifesto.com. Okay, bye-bye now.